How is everyone? Bubbles, bubbles. Everybody likes more bubbles. I'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here. I'm not going to be on very long. I've just not been on all weekend. Just been trying to kind of listen, see what's been going on everywhere else. So, how is everyone? Everyone doing okay? Hey, Carl, good morning. It was your video that I was going to kind of talk about a little bit. Sandman telling 423 Chase that summer was safe in Indiana. What about that? I believe that he probably did. Yes, I think that he told Chase that. I believe it 100%. When I watched your video early this morning, I thought, aha, that makes sense, because when Chase was telling that, he seemed awful convinced of it, like he heard it from somebody that he really believed. And then for him to tell it to Penny, it was like, wow, good morning, Cher, how are you? Your teeth look so pretty. And I'm really not, y'all are going to have to help me understand this glitchy dancer stuff. I'm not catching on 100%. I understand that there's some sort of movie being made. And the guy's name is Joe Brown. And I see that he has a channel out, but all the comments are turned off. You cannot comment on the Glitchy Dancer channel. So I'm not really understanding what's going on with that, but I believe that probably Tim Mullins is behind that too. Tell about the boy in the liver story. Okay, when I first found Tim Mullins' real Facebook page, I followed it all the way to the beginning. And on the 14th of January, there was a post about a friend of his son that was needing a liver, and he was going to die within hours. And then on the 15th, the boy was just miraculously given a liver and saved, and the boy was 5 years old. When you follow who this guy was, the guy actually works for DCFS there in Tennessee. So it was one of his children. So Tim even has connections to DCFS in Tennessee. Tim's not supposed to have connections to the SDA church, but he was posting on when the summer solstice was. And about Reverend Donna, I did find that Holston River, right across from where Summer was swimming, they have a brewing company that is out of business now. And that was the name of it, was Holston River Brewing Company. I've been saying this share. I guess maybe you missed my last live. See, he had a fake Facebook set up, but then he had his real Facebook set up over here. I believe it was under, that's when I found it under John Mullen. Well, and the scary thing about the organs was I have got proof that Rebecca Cody there in the church, she's a doctor in Gray, Tennessee. William Cody in the church is also a doctor there in Gray, Tennessee. Rebecca Cody, when they were in Georgia, decided that she was going to give a kidney to somebody over here in Tennessee, some bigwig. And don't quote me on this, but I think it might have been Jeff Barrett. Not positive. It didn't say who exactly the donor or who was getting the kidney. But I've got a recording of her saying, well, I've got two. There's no reason why I can't give somebody else one. Well, one of her kids is up in North Dakota or South Dakota. He gets into some trouble. Well, the way he gets out of the trouble with the community is there's a guy dying in the community with kidney disease, right? So he gives the exact same speech that Rebecca Cody gives. Oh, well, I've got two kidneys. There's no reason why I can't give him a kidney. That would be the decent thing to do, and gives the exact same speech that his mother gave when she gave this kidney over here. And because they're doctors, I think that they squirm around these organ laws. And it's not called black market, they're red market kidneys is what they call them, when the doctors are able to skits around the laws. And Rebecca Cody is all into the organ transplant movements. And I'm not saying that that's what happened, but Tim was posting about a 5-year-old that was about to die, and then the next day Summer come up missing. And he also posted, he said that he was not involved with the Wells until a month after Summer come up missing. That's not true, because he posted on his real Facebook page within days. I think it was like on the 17th. That he had been up there. And the only way a little girl would leave that property would be to go down to see a horse or a kitten Well, the same day the TBI sets up their update point right there. And that's the same day the horse just gets loose and runs past the TBI. And that made me feel like that was a production because Tim had posted the only way a little girl would leave that property on her own would be to come see a horse, and then a horse just gets loose and takes off. And in two of the TBI updates, you see red trucks going by. Toyota trucks. I don't know. Perfect. I think he is too. Absolutely think that they're behind it. And just like those Ziggy bones that popped up, that was 100% meant to be there. That was 100% a production. I think that that was put there on purpose. I have not put up a video. I have not done a live stream in 2 or 3 days. And I almost didn't because I'm just so disgusted with these other creators putting out this bull crap that you can't even get out anything real that may be going on in that case like this because they have so much fake production going on in the background. Do y'all know that I'm up to like 20 doctors in that church, in that SDA church? We're only seeing a few members that's come forward, but there's like bukus of doctors that goes to that church. None of them's coming forward. None of them want to be seen. I very much think that Hunter was with her all day that day. I think that Hunter even was at that house that day. I still stand beside that 100%. I've said that since the beginning. Hey, bow and arrow. And I think that she was stashed at Andy's and Jody Sue's until the heat of the police was gone. I think they're all in on it. Yes, I've got 49 people in here and only 10 likes. Come on, guys. I work hard on my research. It hasn't started snowing here yet, but I do have to go and get dog food and stuff before it starts snowing. But these other creators, man, look, they don't have any business down there helping create more production. I think every bit of it is scripted and produced. In my barnyard videos, I have Molly saying that Don Wells told her to come to his job. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate that so much. That helps keep me going. So if I caught her saying that he told her to come to his job, then that was just one great big production. But let me tell you, one thing I would not have done is poured that dog food on the ground. Do y'all know that dogs can get worms from eating food off the ground? You are not supposed to feed animals off of the bare ground. That is a big no-no. Dogs get roundworms and they get hookworms out of the ground. They can also get parvo out of the ground if there's ever been any parvo. If they've not had shots and stuff, you are not supposed to just pour dog food on the ground and feed it to them. It can make them sick. So that just showed how intelligent. And they could have picked up 3 or 4 99-cent bowls with all that money they had pouring in. Man, look, there's no telling how much she made off of those fake bones. Well, what got me is she left her daughter with a suspect. Oh, I know too, Cher. I've known it since the beginning. But the question is once that picture in that video was taken of Summer, is that Hunter or is that Jody Sue or is that Allie? Good grief. And those big green cans by Don's Job that they throw garbage and stuff in. I suggested months ago that they check the garbage dump and where they dump those at, because how easy would it be to wrap a child in construction garbage, chunk her over in one of those green dumpsters, and then they pick those dumpsters up every day and off to the landfill they go. One reason he if he was staying at the houses to avoid CPS, one reason he had the red car is because that would be considered a resource by CPS. A car that expensive would be considered a resource by CPS that I'm sure that they had not claimed through CPS. They would have made them sell that car had they known that they had it, to support those kids and to get them health care, dental care, and everything else. I suggested to the TBI that they check the landfill where those are dumped out, and I don't think that I don't know if they did or not. I done a price comparison on that log cabin that she put up trying to raise money for Jody Sue, and it's about a $45,000 cabin that they're trying to raise money to buy for Jody Sue. And I'm telling y'all, why would y'all want to buy her a $45,000 cabin plus the land for a suspect? My house is not even paid for, so why do I want to donate to pay for a suspect's home? Thank you, Cher. I appreciate that so much. So much. Love you, sister. Okay, I know that they stopped garbage pickup in Beach Creek, but I don't know if they stopped garbage pickup in the Meadows. I don't know that they even stopped construction in the Meadows. That's something that needs to be a question that needs to be asked to TBI. Cher gave them a platform to essentially get what information she could get out of them. Period. And let me tell you something. The stories that Jody Sue has told us about Andy being a drug dealer and how much meth that he is bringing in there. 345 pounds, 800 and some odd pounds. And then we've got Candace over here saying that she watched the house while they went to Washington, D.C. and picked all this up. Okay, great. Andy had cameras on him while he was at work that day. But here's the question. How many people work for Andy? Have you ever known a drug dealer that moves that much drugs that works solely by himself? Is it even possible that the Tony Hammonds guy works for Andy? And the Randy Hass guy works for Andy? Is it possible that the Tony Hammonds guy was sent over there to make an attempt on that little boy, but was told, no, don't really get him, just scare him and make a scene over there just to get the attention away from over here? Because Don Wells has said it's not a cornbread mafia, but it is a hillbilly mafia. Fred Hill is tied up with him. So even though there might have been cameras on Andy that day, was there cameras on Jody Sue all day that day? The question is finding out who works for him and finding out who and where they were all day that day. Because I still believe that Don and Candace owe them some money for something. Whether it be land, whether it be drugs, whether it be something. She has injected herself into this investigation. And I will tell you this. When I called Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, they told me at the time, oh yeah, and she calls down here about 3 times a week too. So, not only is she injecting herself in the investigation on YouTube, she's calling the sheriff's department and injecting herself 3 times a week that way too, and they know it. And that's another reason why they say everything she says is unfounded. Her stories change twice a week. I've got got dealers that live on the other end of my street down here. I live on what they call the east end, and there's no drug activity down here. But over on the west end, there's drug activity down here, just like there is just in about every neighborhood. And I know that there's 3 of them that work together. And I know this because I've observed it enough to alert the police to it. I've sat out on my porch and I have took videos of it to turn over to the police. So I know that there are 3 of them within a small area that's working together. So I know if he's bringing in 800 pounds or 300 pounds, that he has people working for him. It doesn't take a real bright crayon out of the box to figure that out. There's a bunch of hills up there. And they're all related. No, because the investigator did not go into the different stories that had been changed. He just let me know that she had been calling and injecting herself into the investigation. Blood money's right. And y'all remember the last thing that they about had Chase say was, call the PIs. They'll tell you the reward money needs to go up. Call Tim Mullins. They'll tell you the reward money needs to go up. So what they're telling us is $78,000 is not enough. Well, what is enough? What is enough? What is her life worth if she's still alive? What is her body worth if she's not? Oh, I got my information from somebody else. I didn't get with Cam. I don't even know how to mod anybody on this iPhone. It don't give me that option. Let me see what I can do. Alright, I will try that. I got him for 600 seconds. This iPhone does not give me the option to do that. I'm I'm going to have to, I guess, start doing it from my tablet or something. But I don't come to y'all's chats and harass people. So please do not come to MindCam and harass people. Thank you, McBro. I appreciate that. If I don't do it to you, please show me the same respect. And Cam, I have took up for you when you were being attacked on the CPS thing. So please show me just a little bit of respect. I went after Molly on your behalf, even though I don't agree with you always. But I seen something that was wrong, and I handled it. So please show me the same respect. Thank you. Oh, that's okay. I usually don't even have to worry about that because most people do respect me and just don't bring it here. I didn't sign a non-disclosure, so they don't need to bring it here for sure. Maybe they just don't like me speaking about the truth. That's a good question. Well, now, if you mention her name, the comments get turned off because of this crazy stuff. If you put her name in the title or put her hashtag, it gets turned. The comments get turned off. But I don't go up there and put on productions. I don't go up there and get paid to produce. So I'm going to say what I feel is going on. And if I'm not left alone, I will release the videos, Cam, of all those doctors sitting in that church. Thank you. Because I've really tried not to release all the money that's sitting behind that church that is actually probably supporting every bit of this. Because the money's coming from somewhere. And I still want to know why all these people come from all these different states to Tennessee a few years ago together. And does it have something to do with the access that they have to these airfields? People that's holding their tongue, Cam, is why we can't find her. We need people to come forward and speak about their experiences of not being able to speak. That NDA is not worth the piece of paper it is written on. Well, my grandma always said, you can't get nothing out of a dried up turnip. So if you have nothing for him to sue you for, guess what? If you're just a dried up turnip, he can't even get the turnip. Okay, why did all these people move together from Georgia a few years ago? The whole congregation, doctors, lawyers, everybody, pilots. If I can ask you anything, why did they all move together? And let me tell you something else that I've got. People associated with Robin Lane, where it goes down through the relatives and it says people associated with, people related to, it pulls up a name. And the name is Summer Lane. Sure does. And then when it goes out to resources or anything like that, it shows nothing, just like it would on a child, where it owns nothing, it has nothing in the system, it has no anything, but the name is there. Would you like me to post that? And why is she showing Okay, I'll post that. Because why is she showing a child or a relative by the name of Summer Lane? Because I can't find an adult by the name of Summer Lane that she is related to. When the truth comes out, and all these people that have signed NDAs, y'all are going to be caught up in it. And you're going to be part of it. Whether it was an accident that they're covering up, an accident happened, so they went ahead and donated her liver. And then the cover up happened. Or if they're hiding her. Or if this is all just for a TV show like Honey Boo Boo or some craziness like that. Oh yeah, I've done looked up those church NDAs. They're not worth the paper they're written on. The only NDAs with that church that's worth the paper that's written on are the ones that come from Loma Linda Hospital. Cam, so you did not tell? That was not you that told Molly and Chronicles of Olivia that you knew that Candace had gave Summer alcohol that day? That wasn't you that I heard say that? I caught that little clip out of them. I don't know how to drop a link either. Not in this little frame. Because I'm just using YouTube. I'm not using Restream or anything like that. See, I caught a tiny clip. Of Cam saying that he knew that Candace had gave Summer alcohol that day. Are you going to deny that that was ever said? Well, either way, whether it's him or not, those little pieces of information that I just dropped is out there now, isn't it? Whether I was talking to the Cam person or not, those little pieces of information that I just dropped about Cam telling Molly that he knew that Candace had gave Summer alcohol that day. That's truth. Where I have found Summer Lane listed as a relative for Robin Lane. That's the truth. And let me tell y'all something. There was so much RDX in that water, and there was so much ethylene glycol in that water. Had she gave Summer any alcohol whatsoever, and then Summer went under the water, and she swallowed any of that water whatsoever, it would have caused a horrendous chemical thing in her body that would have caused ethylene acidosis, and she would have started shaking, she would have been cold, she would have been hypothermic, just almost like diabetes. And I'm afraid that might have happened, and it all would have happened, and her death all would have happened all within a 2-hour time. Exactly. No, that was that little boy in those pictures that oh, what's his name? Enchanted. I can't think of the little boy's name right now. But it's the same one it fills in for church sometimes. Carl James Carmichael. Cracking cases, I've asked you 10 different things and you've not answered me. They weren't supposed to be swimming in that part of the pond. The fish were not supposed to be being eat out of that part of the pond. I tried to put a video out on it. My phone didn't cooperate. I'm still working on that. Next time I will use Restream so I can get a guest up. I've never had to do that. I've always just used YouTube. So I apologize that I can't drop a link or anything. Okay, Cam, do you know anything about that not being summer in the swimming hole or at church. Have you looked at those pictures? Well, RDX and ethylene glycol has settled all up on the embankments of those places. Sure, I can be there in 30 minutes. Alright, guys, it's that time. If anybody can throw some super chats up there, I would appreciate it. I've got a couple of things due. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. I understand. Yeah, glycol is like antifreeze. Eastman has been dumping it. They dumped 5,000 gallons in April. I appreciate the love, Trace girl. But the super chats will go to pay the subscription fees. I do not get cigarettes or pay my bills or anything like that. The super chats just go to pay for the subscriptions for the channels, the barnyard animals, things like that. It only goes for the channel, and it stays in the account until I have to pay for the subscription. I don't even remove it. Thank you, Cam. I appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot. Like I said, I have tried, and I took up for you with Molly several times, and with BK when they were threatening your children. I got hostile with them, matter of fact, about that. Because no matter our differences, thank you, Rosa Leaf, no matter our differences, our children should never be involved. My children, well, my surviving children, they don't even know what I do in my part-time. And there's no way they should be involved or pulled in to what I do, say, or anything. And your children are in school when you do what you do. So they shouldn't be involved. So, Cher's kids, anybody's kids, the Wells boys, they should not be pulled into this. So I'm for the children. And I did come over and watch your live last night with Penny. But y'all do need to take a good, long, hard look at Tim Mullins. And you need to go back to his original, real Facebook and take a look at that. I'll be there in 30 minutes, Cher. What's the best way for me to, do I need to email you or whatever? I mean, I've never been on panel or anything like that. So how do I do that? Everybody, don't forget to like before you leave. All right, great. If everybody's invited, we should be able to get to the bottom of this. I said I'm just not sure how to even get anybody's link because I've never been on anybody's panel before. Thank you, Aussie girl. I try to be, and I try to bring out the best information that I can. And I will get that screenshot up of where it says Summer Lane with Robin Lane. Because why would that even be there? It depends on how bad the liver or if it takes the whole liver. But I do know that this group of doctors are all about liver trans or organ transplant. And I'm not accusing any of them of doing it. I just find it strange that it happened. The kid had like 6 hours to live, and then bam, Summer comes up missing, and the kid lives. Well, the ton of money has got to be coming from all these doctors that is involved with the church. That never come forward, that never offer prayer, that never offer assistance, that never offer anything. They hide in the back. They send the poorer looking people up. Yeah, it's a miracle, he said. Just like it was a miracle that horse run behind TBI. I'm sorry. Anytime the bubbles or lights or anything start making y'all dizzy, tell me. Because I get seizures too, and I don't want to make anybody sick. I'm sorry that they all. I'm sorry to Summer that they all go down there and show out and make a big joke out of her being gone. I'm not sorry to Summer for trying to find the truth of what happened to her. Thank you, Smiley. I appreciate that. Well, I'm like that O negative or whatever, and my blood can be given to anybody. It can be given to A, B, um, it can be given to anything. It's universal. And my blood, they want it every time they do a blood drive. They're like, come on, we're low of that. Give us that, give us that, give us that. And I'm not a blood giving person. So I know I've got a blood type that's like that too. So you guys are jamming. Y'all got me at $40 this morning. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate that so much. You don't know how much I appreciate that. All right, well, let's take it over to shares where we can all get on panel together. I've got proof on the church that they're all doctors, and that has to be where the money is coming from. Because Tim Mullins told 423 Chase that she was alive and well in Indiana. Oh, thank you so much, Mike Rhyme. That is so generous. You like pushed me over the top. That's the most I've ever made in one live stream. Ever. But then when I run Robin Lane and then I seen Summer Lane attached as a relative, that just made me wonder. Why? And I can't find an adult Summer Lane related to her. You know what amazes me? That since the whole movie thing has come out about the glitzy shoes or glitzy dance or whatever, the police have not made a statement. And that's huge. Because they're pretty much putting it in the FBI's face and going, ha ha. Well, there's more than one mortician. There's like 3. Yeah, there's a movie, that Tree Torney movie. Go watch Enchanted Life Path. And it's on Disney Plus and Amazon. I think if you go over there and look real close, he's got a PayPal somewhere. They do. All these children deserve justice. So I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, okay. Does it? Um... So what? Will they like email me a link? Is that how it works? I will. I will. I promise, my crime. I see you innocent until proven guilty. I didn't say Netflix, though. I said Amazon and Disney Plus. I've not watched it. I'm not 100% up on it. But you know, I've heard people say, well, they cremated Summer. But I thought that it was against the SDA's religion to cremate because the body would not be whole when the rapture come, right? How would that movie... I don't even think I've mentioned Don and Candace's name. Please don't put words in my mouth. Don't do that. Because I have tried to equally represent both sides. It was just day before yesterday that I put up a video that said, what if something happened that was beyond Candace's control? And the only thing that she done wrong was get scared and hide the body. And that was the day that I presented all that RDX the Eastman dumped into the river on top of the 5,000 gallons of ethylene glycol. And if she swallowed that when she went under the water, and after drinking all that well water that has soaked up all that RDX after all these years, it could have been enough to kill her. By nobody's fault. By nobody's fault alone. That shit just happens. So I'm probably one of the only creators that tries to show both sides of things that could happen. So please do not tell me that I only want Don and Candace to be involved, because that is so far from the truth. I always find a scenario of what if it just happened? I never said I was a doctor. I said I was a paramedic. I'm, I specialize in emergency medicine. I have put out a snake bite. I have put out dry drowning. I have put out Don maybe has not shocked that well in so long that all those chemicals built up in the well that she had been drinking. And then when she went swimming, she took a big drink of ethylene glycol. I have put out she fell off playing hide and seek with her brothers off of the hunting blind. And they freaked out and they hid her body. So please don't put words in my mouth. I have not always said that the parents were involved or that I want the parents to be involved. I have tried to I've tried to be neutral. I can't bring the receipts for the property well because I don't know when he shocks that well, if he shocks that well. But according to Jody Sue, that well was filthy. But do I believe everything that Jody Sue has said? Absolutely not. I don't believe that Jody Sue was even her given name, to tell you the truth. Dotson did not even have a job at the time that we know of. He was fired before Summer come up missing. He did not have access to chemicals to embalm or to cremate her. Now, could he have took her and buried her somewhere? Sure, anybody could have. But he did not have a job at that time, and that's been verified. Well, I even put out a video. We do not want circumstantial evidence. If y'all will watch my video entitled Andrea Gonzalez, My First Case, that little girl come up missing just like Summer Wells, the shaved head and everything, back in 1993 in my hometown. We could not get those parents for anything except child abuse and child neglect. One spent 3 years in prison, the other spent 2. 5 years total between them. Because that's all that could be proved. It has been 30 years and we still have not found Andrea. So, circumstantial and these little child abuse charges that Molly and them are hollering for, that's not justice. That's not the kind of justice that we want. We want the police to keep digging until they find the truth of what happened. I don't want child abuse charges. I don't want child neglect charges. I don't want circumstantial evidence charges. I want the truth of what happened. And then I want justice. And that's what everybody should want. We can speculate all we want. But the good thing about the TBI and the FBI and all that, they're out there doing the real work. Alright, well, I'm going to shut mine down so we can get over and jump on Mr. Shares. And I thank everybody for being here. Love you all. And I will see you on my next live. Don't forget to like on your way out. I'll be there. See y'all.